Live. Today we celebrate the longest-running headliner on the Strip, Frank Marino. He has entertained millions of people on the Boulevard for 30 years now.
The Vice President of SPI Entertainment and Frank's fiance and life partner, Alex Schechter, is here and joining us to celebrate this milestone, and you have put together an incredible video.
I gotta tell you, I was tasked with taking a 30-year iconic career and shrinking it down to 6 minutes.
Welcome to TV, right?
Right, exactly. And it was too long, shrink.
Yeah.
And I figured there's only one way to do it, and it is in true Queen and fairy tale style.
Oh my gosh, you're such a good fiance.
Now, Frank has never seen this.
Okay.
No, so I hope the prenup is signed before it rolls. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, you
But let's all take a look.
Let's roll the tape.
Once upon a time, in a fairy tale land called Las Vegas. Actually, our story begins way before that. Even as a teenager, Marino had a flair for the theatrics. Little did he know that one special Halloween would change his life forever. Shortly after, a chance encounter with Joan Rivers would set Marino on his path to becoming the Queen of the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, gossip. You see this here I got when I went to Roseanne Barr's wedding? I caught the garter bells.
Here we have the showgirl of the year this year. And what is your name?
Frank Marino.
The joke is he's having plastic surgery to make himself look like me. I'm having plastic surgery to make me not look like me. I think I'm going to end up looking like him.
So let me bring out a guy slash gal. Well, today, he's doing me.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen you out of Joan drag.
And you're so thin.
I was going to say the same for you, you bitch.
Breast references?
Oh, I have no boobies. Summertime, I pick up frogs, I rub them on my chest, I pray for warts.
All right, off the bat, why Joan Rivers? I understand she sued you for what?
$5 million.
That's a serious suit.
$5 million for impersonating her, and thank God we settled. I was like $80 short.
Frank Marino joins us this morning, dressed to the nines, looking sharp. Now, why do you feel it's no longer right for people to wear fur?
Because it's almost summer, for God's sakes.
Yeah. 2 minutes, Mitch. Very good. Good luck.
Zach wants to invite Frank Marino.
Drag queen?
Yeah. Frank's got like the longest running show, for 20 years.
I knew the party was going to need a B12 shot. And I sort of said to the cast of the show, why don't you come to the Golden Nugget and crash the party and see what happens. When my cast showed up, the energy in the room went from a 3 to an 11.
Miss Congeniality 2, armed and fabulous.
I got bad news. We won in those dressing rooms. We have to perform.
I am not going out there as a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be Tina Turner.
I was here before him.
It's all right here on my list, in alphabetical order. Tina, then Tina, then Tina. And you're all doing the same song anyway. What's the difference? Hit it.
But I am not
the
singing.
Absolutely fabulous Tina Turner!
Greatest female impersonators, and you and I go back for 30 years. I don't know what's been tucked more in those 30 years, my face or your penis. I mean, we have
Vegas, baby. This is great. Tell me what this is about.
Well, you know, I got sick of driving around and being a celebrity in Las Vegas and nobody knowing who I am. So I figured, why not just let them know as I go down the street who it is in that car?
I don't think they'll get the message.
You know?
They went from penniless.
I have been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better.
To fabulous.
This tank is definitely fit for a diva.
Please welcome Frank Marino.
We have Frank Marino, one of our greatest impersonators ever, from his great show on the Strip, The Divas, and he's bringing some of those diva queens from his show.
No, I said, what's a drag queen?
I have no idea.
Yes.
We're here in your dressing room, which is fantastic, by the way. Could you give us a little tour? Have you ever had stars appear in the audience before being impersonated on stage?
That happens a lot. I've had everybody from Whitney Houston to Barbra Streisand, and that's a really great honor. I had Dolly Parton come in, take her earrings off, and clip them on my Dolly Parton.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Now, hon, try to control yourself when you see Frank.
Well, I always say to everybody, we'll be friends for life, but we'll be friends after that. Because you can still hear me bitching. I'll be bitching. She's the Long Island medium, and I'm the Long Island large.
I make the perfect match.
Well, I'll tell you what, can I throw like a little wrench into your system here?
What do you got in mind?
What would you think of trying to hook me up with your other millionaire?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm very serious.
Stay right here, don't go anywhere, okay?
Just want to ask you a crazy question. Sure. Would you ever think of dumping the and making the switch?
We're doing this.
We're doing this.
Oh, we're doing this.
Coming up next, Cher.
I don't know about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Celine.
Here's to those who make what happens here happen. The end. Or is it just the beginning?
Just the beginning.
That was beautiful.
Oh my God. Now, this is how you know how special this is today for us too, because we love Frank, we love Alex. This spread is amazing.
Incredible.
The
From the
furniture,
acrylic to the black leather.
the throne, the background. Frank said, and Alex agrees, we can keep the furniture if we just make sure that this is on Valley View Live every
Yes,
single
I'll say it
day.
live. I will
Yes.
let you keep all this furniture if you keep all that for me.
What did you think of your tribute?
Yeah, what do you
I
think?
thought it was amazing. I forgot like half of that stuff happened.
Right? And
So
you watch it like, oh my God.
yes, and to see it, and I noticed how my hair got better as I got older, much like the real Joan Rivers did.
Right. And that experience with her, we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's talk about your awards, your accolades. You have the key to the city. You have not one, but 2 stars in the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, I got a key to the city. After the mayor gave that to me, I'm sure he changed all the locks the next day. But and I think it was to the back doors anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a key, so
It's
I'm
a
happy
key,
with
honey.
it.
And you got 2 of them.
Yes, we named the street after me, which was.
But
Where's
talk
the
about,
street?
hold on, the street was an interesting story because the first time it went in, it got denied, and Frank went on Channel 2 and tell us,
Oh, yeah,
look, this is
so
the
you
best.
know when you can see when the council meets and okay, so it was denied, and I was there
Knocking on the
with
door.
my mom, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, nobody watches this channel. I've never really watched it unless you're really involved, and I get home and there's 100 calls. Oh, I'm so sorry. I saw that they denied. Well, they do play it over and over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I could be on Oprah Winfrey and I don't get this many calls.
Yeah,
but people love when something bad happens. They like circle.
All you saw were 2 big hairs. That's all you saw on Channel 2 that day.
But you got the street
You
later.
got the
Where
street.
is the street?
We live on it.
Oh, you live
And that's
on
why
it.
we're building a brand new house, but it's like I never want to go to it because I won't be on
You don't
my
wanna
street
leave your
anymore.
street. Can
So
they-
I'm
they
going
move
to
the
keep both of the houses.
Has your street been TP'd?
Was it? Oh.
Toilet
Wow.
paper.
Oh.
Someone littered it
Is
up.
that the lingo for you young guys?
Oh,
No.
thrown glitter up? Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
someone could
That's more
fork it.
appropriate
Yeah.
for Frank.
Yeah, no.
They're like, no, we
thank
don't do that
God.
to the diva, right? No.
Now, let's talk about the show, Divas. I mean, it's a fabulous show, and one of the things I love about it so much is you keep it so fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason it lasted 30 years, to be honest
Right.
with you. It's not about me, but it's about the cast and what we're able to do. When we opened, we had people like Marilyn Monroe in the show, and then we could put people like Katy Perry that weren't even born when we first opened.
Right.
So it would gradually evolve. My monologues are different. I would talk about what's current events, what's not current events. Right now, of course, I'm talking about Caitlyn Jenner. I'm talking about Donald Trump running for the presidency.
Right.
And I love making the joke. I go, every time he bows his head down, his hair looks like crop circles. You know?
Stop it.
You best Jared at Subway.
Jared at Subway. This is a
an
little
appearance.
racy, but I say it's amazing how he started and ended his career trying to get into smaller pants.
Now, for you, I mean, is that what's been able to keep it relevant? Is it always keeping up with the times? And what have you had to do outside of the show to make sure that your show stays alive? Because you've been able to do that.
Outside of plastic surgery, to try to keep up with these young people that are doing, people like Rihanna and Katy Perry and Britney Spears. They're so young. You have to stay fresh because Vegas forgets about you in 5 minutes, I've noticed.
But Vegas brings them back again. Look at the staples that are at the Coliseum now, or all the divas that are in
And that's what I try
Divas.
to do. I try to, since we work for
It's like
Seasons
one after
Entertainment,
another.
we try to put Jennifer Lopez in. We have Mariah Carey. We have Britney. We have Celine is a great staple.
Shania.
Shania Twain.
Oh, yeah.
And they come to see the show. She came to see the show.
They called and said she's walking across. I said, Shania is walking across the street to come see us?
And I couldn't believe it. So I said, please drive me over so I could watch.
Oh my gosh. You have your own parking spot over at the lake. I mean, you have it hooked
I have my
up.
own garage at the lake.
Oh, and your
Oh,
own garage, excuse me. And really quick, you mentioned plastic surgeries. How many exactly? We did a story on this.
Can I tell you, you were there for the operation,
Yes.
the last one. I don't know how many.
And
but
this is only an hour-long show, so let's, wrap that.
I don't know, but I know there's been more work done on my face than on an abandoned Mercedes.
Oh! Now, when Joan Rivers, of course, the iconic, you guys have had your share of like kind of dust-ups, but in the end, you made up.
Yes,
when she
and I'm
passed
so happy.
away, that was so devastating, and it kind of changed your mind about surgery, too.
Yes, and I'm going to say now that I really wouldn't have any more procedures because of that mess up that happened with Joan Rivers.
We'll talk more about that coming up, too. Now, still to come, meet the women in Frank's life that helped make him the diva he is today. And next, how childhood fascination turned into an inspiration. You are watching Valley View Live. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Valley View Live on this Super Diva Frank Marino takeover day right here. Oh, we are so happy. And Alex, your fiance, Frank, your fiance, you did such an incredible job on that video. Can we give Alex another round of applause? How long did that take?
4 months.
4 months.
4 months of sneaking and creating fake appointments to go edit sessions. He's like, he's having an affair. I'm like, in an editing bay? I mean, come on.
Well, you never know,
You never
right?
know, you know?
Well, as we travel down memory lane, we want to talk about some of the women who have played a vital role in your life, Frank, and we have a little surprise for you. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, do you recognize this voice? Take it away.
So, Frank, I hear that even as a little boy, you were fascinated by a very special performer. You even dressed up like her for Halloween when you were 16. And then you performed as her for birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. To you, she is the supreme Miss Diana Ross. But to me, I just call her Mom.
Come on out.
I know it. I'm a fan of yours, too.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Look at that. I've never seen Frank get so giddy before. Welcome, Rhonda.
Look, now I'm really sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, my
This is
God.
so great.
I'm touching you.
You're touching it. When did you guys first meet?
Rhonda?
Yeah.
She was in Diana Ross's belly probably at the time.
Before she was born.
I've seen you perform, but besides that, obviously the first time I saw you on television, the Caesar's Palace special,
Oh
when
my God.
with the three of you,
Reach out and
touch with your mom. And then, obviously, let me tell you, Diana Ross's family is always with her, and that's what I love about it, because it's family first, and then it's the career,
Yeah,
right?
always,
Even though
it's
it's such a
true.
big career,
You're
you can
so
do, how do
right.
you balance it?
You're so right.
So the girls are always there, the boys are always there, and you're always such a sweetheart. We've taken Radio City, I think, was one of the big ones where we took photos.
Yeah,
but oh my God! Afterwards, I'm going to say, I can't believe I was in there. How could you do this to me?
We knew you'd be crazy.
Oh my God! Is that? Can I ask you questions? Because there's so many.
Let's do it.
How hard is that having a superstar for a mother?
It's fantastic.
Is it fantastic?
Yes, it's pretty great.
Because I would get jealous, I gotta say, if I was the child. Like, I'd want my mom's time to me.
Yeah.
But that's
But that's the thing, because she made it that we didn't feel like we had to be jealous or compete against her career. She was so present with us.
So I have to ask one question, though.
I'm going to do it.
Wait, I have to ask the one question. Did she really come home and make breakfast for you
She
every...
really, Well,
every morning.
Every morning, really. And
She got your mother didn't come home and make breakfast every morning, and she was
exactly.
How about 5 out of 7? I'll take 5 out of 7. I'll be good.
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old, and I don't make breakfast every morning.
There you go.
But no, but she was really present. She made a point, and she was in Atlantic City, for instance, and she would take a helicopter back to be with us, and she'd be in Las Vegas and take a helicopter back to be with us.
He gloats about it.
Yeah.
And she was a great mother to her
But
kids,
she
you
was,
know?
but she is and was, yeah.
And Rhonda,
that's why
did she ever talk about, like, Frank? What would she say about Frank's impersonation
Well,
of
she's
her?
always been so excited about the people who want to impersonate her and who want to, you know, she loves her fans and she loves the fact, I mean, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'll take it from here. How old were you when you realized my mom is different from my girlfriend's mom, who's just a mom? Or notice my mother's
You know
a
what?
star.
It happens so gradually. It's hard to know. There's not just one big aha moment. I'm watching it with my son now. He's 6, and he's just starting to figure out that people have a different relationship to his grandparents.
Does he wonder, like, why do they all want to take a picture?
Yeah, well, he's just starting to figure that out. We walk into a restaurant and the music's playing, but I had him in Detroit, and he started a conversation with a bus driver. And he said to the bus driver, "Where are you from?" And the bus driver said, "I'm from Motown." He was like, "Motown? How did he know about Motown?" He's just starting to figure it out.
And your mom is still working. She was just here. In
My
Vegas
mother was just here.
Sisters.
She's coming back in November.
And
She's
she's costing me a fortune in front row tickets every night.
That's how if anybody's out there, if you're going to come see me, you could always find out if I'll be in the show or not if Diana's performing. Right. We were just in Hawaii. We saw her open the theater in New York. We went, well, every night in Las Vegas. I think she refers to me as the crazy ones here again. I'm obsessed. But look, there's me. I got to get a picture with your mom.
When did this start? How old were you when you decided, I just love Diana Ross?
I was in 8th grade, and I remember my older sister gave me a Supremes album, and that's how that started. But I think, like, your mom's fans are all like me, obsessible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, look at my room. That's your mom all over the wall. I need help. I know. I understand. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But at this point, I have met every superstar you could imagine, right? Cher. But when I met your mom, I'm doing like I'm doing now. Bumbling. I remember going, oh my God, you're absolutely gorgeous. You probably see people saying that every day, and she was so sweet to me back. She goes, no, I love when anybody wants to say that to me every day. And she was so playful, because you're such a big star, you're afraid to say the wrong thing, and she was so, I think she knew that, and she was so embracing even to the fan.
Your energy.
I actually, I lost a gig because of your mom. Do you have time?
Wait, we'll save that for after the break, okay? Up next, meet another important woman in Frank's life. You are watching Valley View Live. We'll be right back and continue the conversation.
Welcome back. The surprises just keep coming for our honored guest, Frank Marino, celebrating 30 years of entertainment on the Las Vegas Strip. I don't remember a time when there was not a Frank Marino. I mean, that's just like you're a local icon. And you've met everybody and their mom on the planet. And
now it
sitting
just
next
is the
to
cherry
them,
on the cake.
Rhonda Ross sitting right next to you. Now, but let's see now if we have another surprise behind that curtain. Let's see if you recognize this voice.
Congratulations on your 30 years. I'm so proud of you, and I love you a whole great big bunch.
Is that my mom?
Come on out,
All right, Megan, we have competition with the hair.
We have competition. Thank you for being here.
I know.
Oh, look
Now you know where I get it from.
Mary Mastrangelo.
I love your nails.
Oh,
They're gorgeous.
Oh, yes, of course.
And you wonder why I'm a drag queen?
So, Frank, you were 28 before you met your mom. Tell us about this.
Well, okay, so the way I got my name, Marino, I was adopted at birth. My mom had me very young. And my parents died when I was 6 and 9. And I went to live with my godparents. And the school psychologist said, don't tell him he's adopted right now. He just lost one set of parents. I was too young to tell me before. Wait till he's a little bit, but when's the right time when you're having dinner to go, by the way, you're adopted? It's very hard. right? So I was never told. You have a similar
similar story.
So you understand. So now I'm in Vegas and I'm performing, and afterwards I'm talking to everybody, and I go, what are you ladies doing here? We're here for an adoption convention. What does that mean? We do searches. We feel children should be able to find their parents.
They do illegal searches.
Illegal searches. So they have people in the court, people in the phone companies, people that open records and pull them. I had this much information, because I had found out later on that I was adopted. I had this much information, asked them, and 3 days later they gave me the information to find my mom. That's how powerful this organization is.
Wow.
Yes, and they don't even know who each other are, so it's like the mafia.
So Mary, when you met Frank for the first time, what was going through your mind?
Oh, when you see this on TV or people for the first time meetings, it's nothing like it really is. For 28 years, I lived with a hole in my heart because I was not allowed to interfere in his life in order to give him a good life, okay? So I didn't. So I never told anybody, I never said anything, only my husband.
Her whole family had no idea.
No one, just my husband. And when this happened and I get this phone call, and the first thing was, does this date mean anything to you? And he gave me his birth date, and I didn't know what to say or do. I was like, oh my God, and I didn't know how to react. I said nothing. So he says, don't hang up, I'm looking for my mother.
Oh, where was your first meeting?
At my house.
Oh, but wait.
Yeah.
Well, what were you doing earlier that day?
Well, earlier that day, I went to do the Joan Rivers TV show in the afternoon, the daytime one, and she gave me she treated me so well. She gave me the limousine to go to my house on Long Island to see my family that I was adopted to, and I said, I gotta make a stop, and we stopped in Queens where they lived. It's this huge limo that was bigger than the block. They're very small streets, and I got to meet my mom. Do you remember the first thing I said to you?
About looking just like me, or now I know where that got that nose
Now
from?
I know where I got that nose, of which, of course, I fixed mine and I had hers fixed later on.
I always wanted to ask, though, you got that information, but you, like, sat on it for, like, 3 years. Why didn't you make that phone call?
I sat on it because I was scared. I wasn't sure if I wanted to know, and I did want to know, and I was afraid, and then one day my girlfriend Carol called me up and said, just call, right? And I'm calling.
Well, because you never know how that's going to turn out.
There are a lot of bad situations. I've recommended this place to a lot of people now, and there's some people don't want to find their child. You know, they did it for a reason.
Right.
You know,
Now, Mary, have you ever seen Rhonda on stage? Because she's performing.
Not.
Yeah, I
Now, when are you performing, Rhonda?
I'm performing, thank you. I'm performing tomorrow evening at the Fiesta Rancho Hotel here in Vegas. And it's with my sister. She has a wonderful platform for artists called Sherry Gordy Take the Stage. So Sherry Gordy presents Take the Stage. So we're doing that tomorrow.
So do my thing tomorrow and go see Rhonda.
There you go.
But she has seen
on Valley View Live not that long ago.
Oh yeah, they are smoking hot, and we're going to have a really good time.
It was a family affair. I love that. Well, congratulations to you. You're performing here in Vegas. That's going to be huge. Frank's got to get over and see it, and then big old diva performance.
And Mom, you could go see her tomorrow. Mom's seen your mom 100 times. Because when everybody else is booked, I'm like, come on.
She's my fill-in.
She's your fill-in. There you go, Alex.
You go this time. I went last night, you know?
We've seen it so many times, he could do the act.
Probably,
For your mom. So if she's ever got a cold, Alex can fill
She
in.
needs to stand in.
All right, let's talk about what's up next right here on Valley View Live. The second most important woman in Frank's life, Joan Rivers. Her influence over Frank and the performer he is today. Go nowhere. We'll be right back.
I mean, when I think of all the jokes that I have written that you have taken and used and probably gotten better laughs than I did, I'm delighted. I'm thrilled that you've been doing my act for 25 years. I'm thrilled that you've taken my audiences for 25 years. I'm thrilled that you've stolen my clothes for 25 years. I'm not stupid, Frank. I know when I give them to the thrift shop, I know who comes in the next day. By the way, the one you're wearing now still has menstrual blood in it. Time to get a new one. Anyhow, I just want to say I love you. I think you're wonderful. I think you're an artist. And I hope we have another 25 years together on the Strip.
Well, that was Joan Rivers' message to Frank after his 25th anniversary right here on the Strip. She died last year from complications during a minor throat surgery. And you've had your ups and downs with Joan that spanned quite some time. What did her death mean to you?
Oh my God, it was like losing a family member. I mean, her name comes up every day in my household. So I was in shock at first. He came in and told me.
It was like, he kept saying, I have to go to the gym today. I have to go to the gym. I have an appointment to the gym. And I'm like, you don't understand, but the world has just arrived at our front yard with the cameras and the phone was going crazy. And I'm like, you can't go to the gym. He couldn't comprehend what had just happened.
Right. It was so
shocked.
huge.
It was weird.
How did it turn around that she went from suing you to now becoming one of your biggest fans?
I'm so lovable.
That's it.
The way I first met Joan was she was in concert and I knocked on the door and she let me in. And I met producers of a show, a drag show, and they were like, oh, we use Joan Rivers as a MC for that show. Would you like to audition? And I flew out to Beverly Hills. That's the first time I met her.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like 18, 16, something young. And I went and got the job. Well, first I wanted to be Diana Ross. I'm not gonna lie. Baby loved my way around the theater. They weren't having it, right? They're like, you're white and you can't sing, okay?
Hair isn't big
So
enough.
I'm like, all right, now we're gonna work on a comedian. No. So my other character was Joan. What an odd two, right? So I got the job in her dressing room. When I got to Vegas, it was a little too close for comfort, and she sued me for $5 million. And
So
then
how
we
did
became
it turn
friends again
around?
when she had her daytime talk shows. She invited me on the talk shows and Fashion Police.
In the end, did you have to pay her, or did you?
No, we settled. We really, it was a real lawsuit.
Yeah.
It was very surreal to be 19 years old and having Joan Rivers call your house and, you know, with that distinctive voice say, now I hear you're doing a TV show with Milton Berle, and everybody out there's going, who's that? But it was a comedian from years ago. I want to read the script, and they wrote the script. Everything was good. It was the comedy album she had out at the time. I was using some of the jokes, but the Diana in our show sings a Diana song. The Cher sings a Cher song.
Yeah.
But I guess with comedy, it's a little bit different.
Do you think that level of impersonating people has evolved in terms of it being more frequent now? Would a lawsuit like that even be able to happen?
Well, he was the first.
Well, they said it precedence back then, and satire became a precedence. So you can use it in satire if I'm impersonating you.
But nowadays,
so you're a trailblazer.
the star actually hires the impersonator. Like, the impersonator went on tour with Cher. And
My Cher left me one day. I come backstage after doing one of these talk shows, and I pick up the phone, and you hear the I heard Cher, and I went, very funny. It was Cher, right? And stole my Cher, but I got to talk to Cher. Yeah. You tell your mom wants to call me anytime she could have my Diana. I'll deliver.
When you see Frank on stage, Mary, what are you thinking?
I see me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I lived the stage through him. The 28 years that we were not together, we were together in spirit somehow, some way. Everything about me is in him. When we saw each other for the first time, like I was saying before, it was the most magnificent. It was like my miracle happened, and my child was born.
And certain things, I could honestly say, certain things are inborn in you. Yeah. Just the way we dress. I mean, that I know it comes from there. You know what I'm
we
saying?
all know it comes from there. We can tell.
Was it hard for you when you met your son and he was a female impersonator? Was that hard for you?
Not
to
at
wrap
all.
that around?
No,
Not
she
at
was
all.
too.
Yeah. You could put a
drag queen all the time.
What year was it again?
And go, that's Frank's mom.
92.
So 1992, that was around the time that you two actually met, was 93.
Right,
Yes.
the next year.
Right.
And so you guys have all sort of known
Yes.
each other essentially the same
The
amount of
relationship,
time.
I think, all came
Yes,
up together.
together.
Okay.
I can't get rid of her. She just won't leave. She just won't go.
Well, I actually have not seen you do my mother. No, I've seen him do a lot of Joan, but I haven't seen you do my mother.
Because I don't do it well. I was so young, I thought I was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But we do have a Diana Ross in
One
our
of your
show that is
divas.
fantastic. That's somebody else doing it. One time, your grandfather came into the show.
My father.
Your grandfather.
My grandfather.
Your mom's father, Fred, am I correct?
Yes, you're
Came into
right.
our show with some people, get this story, and I take him backstage to meet my Diana Ross, and I go, Chris, Diana's father's here to meet you. Get out of here. What'd she call? Miss Marino, this is what she called me. Get out of here. Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm like,
No, really, it's them.
I'm like, really? And I'm like shaking now, I'm sweating, right? Worse than I am now. And I'm like, I'm not kidding. And then Fred comes in the room with me, and Chris almost dies on the floor, and I'm like, just believe me next time, please. Oh, God, 20 years ago?
We're going to catch up to
Yes.
that story just in a minute. We're going to go to break. Still to come on Valley View Live. The impersonator gets impersonated. Stay tuned for a special Divas performance. Oh, yeah. And next, the history of the Kaj, plus the terrible illness that almost forced Frank into early retirement. It was kind of sketchy there for a little while. That's coming up. Welcome back to Valley View Live. Today we recognize Strip headliner Frank Marino for his 30 years of divaliciousness on the Las Vegas Strip, the longest running headliner in Las Vegas for the majority of your time on the Strip, of course. Your show is called La Cage.
Yes.
And so what made you decide to change and when?
Well, towards the end of La Cage, there were some difficulties. We had just survived, you know, 4 presidents, the turn of a century, 2 wars, and we made it. The economy started getting a little rough.
Yeah.
The show, after 25 years, had to say goodbye, and it was unbelievable. It was like a dream just ending. Right. And the next day I was going on to do some Valentine's nails things on a news program, and I ended up being the headline story of the show closing after all that time.
Wow.
So I immediately went to Planet Hollywood, and I was a guest celebrity in Tony and Tina's wedding. They started doing guest stars. And I wanted to keep my name on a marquee because, like I said, Vegas will forget you in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then we shopped around, and the president at the time of Caesars Entertainment asked if I would want to come over to one of their properties, and now I'm at the Link.
But talk about like things that you took for granted, like the stars that came in the beginning of La Cage, the Rat Pack and people like that.
Yeah,
that
who came
just
through?
Yeah,
Oh, day one. I remember day one like it was yesterday. I had Sammy Davis Jr., who was also the first man to ever introduce me in an audience when he performed. Oh, Rip Taylor.
Here,
That's
yeah.
Rip Taylor. Opening night had Liberace. There's Liberace.
Wow.
Did you know it then, like that they were the stars that they really were?
You know what? To think I knew the Rat Pack, and to think I met Elizabeth Taylor, and to think I met.
like, what?
I was so young.
Did
I
you get
didn't
Liberace's
understand.
jacket or
I
any memorabilia?
Well, my furria is Liberace's furria.
look.
So I don't wear fur anymore in the show, but when I did, when I was younger and didn't know better, I would go to the furrier and try on all his clothes, and she would let me try on the capes, which you couldn't even lift.
Oh, I can imagine.
So yeah, I was put in good
Riviera.
hands, and
And
then I got here.
you've seen Las Vegas completely evolve right before your eyes, and you've been there to remain relevant throughout. I mean, when you look at downtown and where it is today, when you look at the Strip and where it is today, what are your thoughts?
I think it's amazing. My personal taste is I like it better back then because you would walk in and if you were high roller, hello, Mr. Smith, Mr. Johnson. Now it's so big, it's so corporate. They don't know who I am.
Does that bother you?
That they don't know who I am? Yes.
Well, yes.
So some days you just have to get up, tighten that tiara, and let them know who you're dealing with.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes.
a lot of people don't know that you struggled with a pretty serious illness for a while. Tell us about that.
Well, after I wrote my first book, I think it was like, 20 years ago exactly, I was doing a benefit for Golden Rainbow. I remember being on stage and saying, and in Beverly Hills where I live, and the word Beverly Hills, the way it's phonetically put together, I was going, Beverly Hills. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's I'm doing 3 shows a night and I'm tired and then rehearsing for this and then doing this. That I thought this was the reason. It got worse and worse and worse. And I was on, after I wrote my book, an antidepressant drug called Paxil, which if it did work, and I should be the spokesperson if it didn't affect me.
Oh, it worked.
Right.
Oh, it worked. You could burn the house down, and he was like,
he's
"That's
calm.
okay."
Yes. Look how pretty
Now
the
today you
flyer
lose
is.
the remote, and all hell's breaking loose.
I
So
lo-
you know.
I loved it. Everybody else around me hated it. But I would be the spokesperson for this. 1 in a million gets a dysphonia. All right? But when it first was out and I was on it, we didn't know. Years later, it was a bad day. Almost 10 years later, I was crying, and he was on the computer. I'm like, please, and he went in a chat room, and he found these people saying Paxil, 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 and the reason I knew it was Paxil, I had never even tried another drug. I didn't even take baby aspirin.
They couldn't speak. They'd choke when they tried to eat.
What?
It was just, they weren't on stage every night. So on stage,
I would
tell
go
people
on
what you
stage
would
and
do.
lie every night, and people would say, "Why'd you do that?" Because I needed to work.
Right.
You know, and
To stay relevant,
and my
right.
producer at times said it's like looking at a wounded animal. So I'd go on every night and say, "Oh, I just had dental work today, and the Novocaine's not worn off yet." So if I slurred a word or whatever, they wouldn't think like I was getting lit. Is he drunk? I don't drink at all. You know, I just don't like the taste. That's the reason.
Right.
And it was so hurtful the things people would say, but I had so much left to say. I wasn't going to stop.
For
you
10
know?
years he did
He would
that.
go in and put a button or like a rubber stopper in his mouth.
Because
to
I could
stop.
hold it there and talk
There
like
you go.
this and not have to use my motor skills to do so.
And you are where you are today,
Right.
and we'll get more into
Yeah, we're
that
gonna
after
get more
the
into
break.
that because these are the things behind the scenes that people don't
Don't
know.
know.
Well, I've got to head across the hall for Action News Live at 3 o'clock. But up next, the queen of the Las Vegas Strip, known for his drop-dead impressions, is about to become impersonated himself. You're watching Valley View Live.
Welcome back to Valley
work hard for his
he
money.
works hard for that money.
Now, in honor of Frank Marino's 30th anniversary on the Strip, his friends have put together a special performance for the ultimate diva. Here to perform the song If My Friends Could See Me Now, the Divas dancers, along with Mr. Derek Barry as Frank Marino. Take it away.
Woo! Woo! Here we go.
If they could see me now, that little gang of mine, I'm eating fancy foods and drinking fancy wine. I'd like those snuggle bumps to see for a fact, the kind of top drawer first-rate men I attract. All I can say is, wow, I'm making lots of dough. I'm starring in my own Las Vegas show. What a setup, holy cow! They never believe it. If my friends could see me now. In the front row, traipsing round this $1,000,000 casino. I hear those thrift-shop cats say, brother, get her, wearing a mink coat made from 3 kinds of fur. All I can say is, wow, wait till the rip and rap, see just exactly how I sign my autograph. What a build-up, holy cow! They never believe it. If my friends could see me now. If my friends could see me now. If my friends could, yes, if they could. If my friends could see me now. If my friends could, yes, if they could. If my friends could see, if they could see me in my dressing room out back. The chandeliers alone could cause a heart attack. And there's a rack of shoes from ceiling to floor. I've got so many gowns, there's no room for more. To think I made it here by putting on a dress, you must admit I'm prettier than all the rest. What a build-up, holy cow! They never believe it. If my friends could see me now. Always see me, if they could see me, yes. I told you how I felt right from the very start. We're all in this together, and you did your part to make the time go by so quickly tonight. You make me feel I'm finally getting it right. One thing I have to say before the evening ends: we started off as strangers, now I think we're friends, and if friends we are, then great. I'm so excited, I'm so delighted, I'm so ecstatic. I'm really dramatic. If my friends could see me
Yes, Jerry. Come on over, baby. Oh my gosh, how fabulous
Come
is
on
that?
over.
Now, that was the
Derek.
hardest thing to steal out of the whole thing was that wig, you know?
That is
And
actually
the
one of
performance area, I
Frank's
know, is
wigs.
not as large as yours. So great job. Thank you for coming
Oh my
in.
gosh.
And how long have you been part of the show?
I've actually been working with Frank since June of 2004.
So you've gone through a lot of changes.
Over
with him.
11 years.
Wow.
And is
Yes.
it the first time you've slipped on one of his wigs?
No.
I
Actually, one time we played in his dressing room, and he put his wig on me and earrings, long earrings, because I don't
You're
wear
like
anything
his
heavy.
Barbie doll, huh?
Yeah, he wanted to play dress up. So he looked at me and he goes, well, look in the mirror. You're looking at your future. So here I am.
But what's funny is, like, the wig he's wearing is also the wig he wears for Britney, but only because he does Britney Spears in the
Right.
show. Only
So
he's-
good.
it's like a long Britney wig. So I take beautiful hair like yours, rat it up to the ceiling, you know, and come up with these crazy looks. And I said, the older you get, the bigger your hair will
Yes.
be.
Lucky girl.
Sometimes I think to myself, you know, when I come back in another life, I want to be a drag queen. Like, it just seems
I
so
think you
fabulous.
are. What are you
I think
Coming up next,
Love you, Frank.
no celebration is complete without more surprises and a cake designed for the Queen. We'll be right back.
Oh, Frank, before we have one last special surprise for you, I gotta say, we were talking about Barbie dolls and Derek being like a life-size Barbie doll. You have a Barbie doll.
For the 30th
my
anniversary, yes, they
gosh.
came out with the Frank Marino Barbie doll,
That is
the
so
Frankie.
cool. And so where can I buy it?
Yeah.
You could buy it at the show. Unfortunately, the first 5,000 sold out, so I could
Oh.
only take emails
Yeah.
even at the show. But we're going to get more in. But they come from China, so they take forever.
Okay, we
Okay,
have
look
90
what's on
seconds.
top.
We have a special surprise for you. Please, guys, come on in.
Come on in.
This is a special cake for you
Oh my gosh.
from Show Boys Bake Shop. Thank you so much.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Amazing.
30 years over on the Strip. And what nights do you perform?
Every single night. We're 7 nights a week at 9:30 at the Link Hotel. If you haven't seen us, come see it. Not for me, but the wonderful impersonators we have in the show. It's just a big old party.
So where do you see yourself?
Yes, you've been here 30.
30 years now. What's next for Frank Marino?
I think I've done it all. I think the only thing I'd like to have is a reality show, because what I saw today was so crazy. People need to see how it really
And you
happened.
better say a wedding.
And
a new house.
And a wedding. And a new house. And thank you for putting this whole thing together.
Yes,
Mwah.
great job,
Thank you.
Alex.
Thank you. Good job, Alex. Mwah. Spectacular job. Again, you can catch Frank Marino right here in Las Vegas. Here's to 30 more.
Thank
Here
you.
we go, honey.
Thanks.
High five. High five.
Dig
All
in
right.
and have some cake.
Let's dig and have some
We have
cake.
to track down a knife.
And don't forget, you can see Ricky Cheese right now. Action News live at 3. We are going to eat cake.
Let's dig in,
Join
ladies.
us on social media
Hey, guys.
at Valley View Live.
Cheers.
Queen of Las Vegas, baby.
To another 30.
To another 30.
Yes.
Frank Marino. Congrats. Mwah.
I'm eating.
This is awesome.
Dig in. Show Boys, you can come in.
Why not?
Come on in.
Come in. Thank you.
Show Boys.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Gorgeous. You did an amazing job.
So much.
Yeah. Frank, I'm going to smear cake in your face.
I know.